It's got, 2 fouls. I have the article here on the stack, but Google makeup of the virus. I need the latest info, and I was up so late, I'm a bit dingy. But it's 2 fowls, 1 pig, and 1 human. Just Google makeup of the virus. I need to have that. It's somewhere here in the stack of literally 150 articles since yesterday, and Okay, here is the giant, massive news, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. And remember, I did an emergency broadcast Saturday for 2 hours and 40 minutes from 8 p.m. to 10:40 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I said, I hope this isn't a real crisis. The media is engaged in a psyop in a very sophisticated fashion, being implemented with precision. Their actions show that they believe this is the worst thing since the 1918 Spanish flu that killed over 40 million people. Their actions say one thing. But their words are another. Their words are, oh, it's no big deal, but Mexico's completely shutting down its government, its restaurants, its schools. But we're going to leave the borders wide open. It's no big deal. But if some American has TB and flies back from Greece, everybody's got to panic. But stuff far worse every day comes across the border. Meanwhile, the lawyer that did that, Dad's one of the head TB people at the CDC. That was all a psyop. But I digress. That's just more of the intel that adds into the mix. To be very simple, and to put it very simply, and I got huge news in a moment, but it's got to be explained in a congruent, connected wholeness. To be clear, and I don't like what I'm seeing, folks. I'm actually not shaken because I'm steeled against all of this, but more like thunderstruck, dumbfounded. We're going to find out in the next few days, ladies and gentlemen, exactly what's going on, but it doesn't look good. It looks like this is the move for the complete takeover. Now, it remains to be seen, is the virus hyper deadly? And if it isn't, this is the biggest hoax in history and is an absolutely diabolical crime of unbelievable proportions. I mean, if they are gearing up for martial law and shutting everything down and panicking the entire planet over 7 deaths in Mexico, the Mexicans are saying it's not 150-something, it's not 200-something, it's 7 deaths confirmed and tested. 1 death in the United States. There's other deaths around the United States, but they keep saying, oh, we don't know if it was this flu or not. It was an influenza A, but we don't know. You've got these vaccine makers now saying they've already done a vaccine trial and have a vaccine. Novavax, the group fingered by Horowitz, is now out today saying they've got the vaccine. Ladies and gentlemen, they've got the vaccine a week into this when it normally takes 6 months. Come on. How much more ridiculous does it have to get? I don't know. And then I have an internal state report. When Watson put the article up, he said a Texas doctor. We've got his full name and everything and have made calls. This was an internal report, not for distribution, but we cut that off the letterhead when we gave it to Paul yesterday when he wrote the article at prisonplanet.com this morning. This is not a public document. This is directly from an AISD, Austin Independent School District administrator. And this report says that the state health officials in meetings with the feds say this sucker is the most deadly flu they've ever seen. And I'm going to read this secret transmission when we get back. We brought you the MIAC. We brought you the last big federal DHS report saying gun owners and patriots and veterans are terrorists. We bring you this information because we bust our butts. and because we have contacts everywhere. Now, this is already about 36 hours old. This is from Tuesday evening. We got this yesterday, covered it on Jason Bermas' show, and the article's up on prisonplanet.com, and it doesn't tell you 1/10 of how serious this is. We'll come right back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let me get into the huge breaking news right now. I'm going to be simulcasting on international television, press TV, worldwide for 25 minutes in the next hour. Stations will be able to pick that up. We got Sherry Tenpenny coming up in the next segment, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. Lindsey Williams, huge news, breaking news with Wayne Madsen, former of the National Security Agency, consultant to CIA and others, reporter. He'll be joining us with the evidence of it being a designer virus. That is coming up with the designer RNA. Now, CNN is directly linked to prisonplanet.com right now, attacking us in one of their top stories. Swine flu, your questions answered. Got the Wall Street Journal calling me yesterday. New York Times, total insanity around here, with hit piece after hit piece rolling off the presses at us as the Pentagon savagely attacks our sites. That's why I got a bunch of sites. And we will be launching a new mega site within a month that will be non-dynamic, or what's the term, just where it's text only? We're going to launch one that has all of our news as an aggregator. I call it Sword of Truth or something, or our new Dreadnought. Our new battleship, our new aircraft carrier in the info war. We have to do it specifically to fight these people. In fact, we need to just go ahead. I shouldn't say in a month. I want it launched by next week. I have to come up with that plan. We just have to not sleep. Okay. CNN saying, could this new swine flu virus be manufactured by bioterrorists? You like the government? That's the theory, some conspiracy theorist websites, but experts don't believe it. Oh, yeah, none of the experts believe it. Link to prisonplanet.com. It's question number 11. That's just some of the news that's coming up. Okay, here's the deal. Some people didn't believe it when we broke the MIAC report out of Missouri. They didn't believe it when we broke all the other secret documents. The clergy response teams, now going back 3 years ago, they were getting now 26,000 preachers ready to tell their flocks to go to FEMA camps to take forced inoculations for flu or smallpox and to turn their guns in, to follow Romans 13 and submit to everything the government says. That's now public and admitted. Declassified. Infraguard, the rest of it. Well, people don't believe what I covered last night, so I know a lot of you weren't listening last night, so this is new news. A lot of AM and FM stations that pick us up, WWCR, shortwave, satellite, internet. Some folks weren't listening last night. There's a story up on prisonplanet.com. Infowars.com is up and down. You can go there. Titled, Texas Doctor Claims Swine Flu Cases Far Worse Than Reported. Yeah, Watson, add in the headline, and that the country's really at level 6, which is total martial law. That means they've implemented it. They've executed the order and now have to implement. What level of implementation will they go to is the question. People accuse us of exaggerating or fear-mongering. Folks, my people aren't even reporting on 1/10 as bad as this is. And I'm not knocking Paul Watson or Steve Watson or Kurt Nimmo. I got the UN official press release that they are running the response in the United States and Mexico and all over the world. It's in Reuters and AP. I've got them saying they're grabbing people at checkpoints in North Carolina, California, and other places. Or if your kid's sick at school, they take them and put them in quarantine. This is in the news. We've got a prominent Texas doctor with the health department at the meetings. We have the report to try to protect the people that gave it to us. We excise out the URLs and the different threats at the top of it saying don't distribute. And people say it isn't real when they read it up on prisonplanet.com. Oh, yes, it's real. And so in the next 15 minutes, we scanned in the actual document. We're going to, with it blacked out, the key information, and it's going up on prisonplanet.com, and it will be posted on the auxiliary jonesreport.com, and on the auxiliary, truthnews.us, and on the auxiliary sites that we have. Now, I'll read this document when we get back and give you a breakdown of the latest info. Then we'll talk to Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, who's been in Mexico, and get her medical view on this. Then we'll simulcast on international television. Then, Lindsey Williams on the flu, the economy, and a lot more. Then, Wayne Madsen, formerly with the National Security Agency, on the facts that this is a designer bioweapon released to create panic. Stay with us.